The sun had just begun to rise over the dry landscape. A cool breeze rustled through the tent flaps, and Jacob stood alone, his heart racing. This was the moment. After years of fear, guilt, and running, he was about to face the brother he had deceived. The same brother he had once tricked out of a birthright. Esau. The name alone carried the weight of the past, the tension of unresolved conflict, and the possibility of revenge. Jacob's eyes scanned the horizon. His heart pounded louder than the footsteps of the many children and wives standing behind him. Today, everything could change. Today, everything could end. The night before, Jacob had wrestled with a divine being. He had been changed, both physically and spiritually. A limp remained in his step, but a new name was given to him. Israel, one who struggles with God and prevails. But the struggle with his brother remained. This was no longer about deception. It was about reconciliation, redemption, and facing the consequences of past actions. As he approached the land of Seir, Jacob knew the fear that had haunted him for years had now taken form. 400 men. Esau was coming with 400 men. The number alone sent a chill down his spine. What man brings 400 others unless he plans for war? Jacob, trembling but determined, arranged his family. He placed the maidservants and their children first, followed by Leah and her children, and finally Rachel with Joseph. He himself went ahead, alone, vulnerable, exposed. He bowed 7 times as he approached Esau, his face low to the ground, his spirit humbled. The ancient world understood the meaning of such a gesture. It was submission, it was respect, it was repentance. But then something unexpected happened. Esau ran to meet Jacob. Not with a sword, not with judgment, but with open arms. He embraced him, he fell on his neck. He wept. Tears fell freely as 2 brothers, long torn apart by sin and suspicion, were brought back together. The audience of heaven watched in awe. Mercy triumphed over vengeance. Love conquered bitterness. A reunion centuries in the making was sealed with tears and the pounding of 2 long-lost hearts. They spoke as brothers should. Esau looked at the caravan behind Jacob and asked about the women and children. Jacob introduced them, calling them gifts from God. There was no pride in his voice, only gratitude. The man who had once grasped at birthrights and blessings now saw all he had as undeserved mercy. Jacob then offered Esau gifts. A gesture of peace, of restitution, of saying, I wronged you, and I want to make it right. Esau declined, saying he had enough. But Jacob insisted, not because he wanted to boast, but because he wanted Esau to accept his heart. Not just the livestock, but the transformation. Jacob said, seeing your face is like seeing the face of God. For you have received me favorably. These were not empty words. This was the confession of a changed man. Esau finally accepted. The tension between them dissolved like morning mist. They stood, not as rivals, but as brothers. The land around them might have remained the same, but the atmosphere had shifted. Peace had returned to a fractured family. Forgiveness had found a home where revenge once dwelled. Esau suggested they travel together. Jacob, however, knowing the pace of the children and flocks, suggested Esau go ahead. They parted ways peacefully. Esau returned to Seir. Jacob journeyed to Succoth. There, he built a house, made shelters for his livestock, and named the place accordingly. Later, Jacob arrived safely at Shechem in Canaan. He bought land and pitched his tent. And in an act of profound faith and gratitude, he erected an altar and called it El Elohe Israel. God, the God of Israel. This was no longer just the God of Abraham or Isaac. This was Jacob's God, personally known, personally worshipped, personally encountered. This chapter is not just an ancient narrative. It is a mirror. How many of us live in fear of the past? How many wrestle with the ghosts of betrayal, guilt, or broken relationships? Fear tells us the worst is waiting. That revenge is near. But sometimes, what's waiting is mercy. What's approaching is a hug, not a sword. What's coming is restoration, not ruin. We all have an Esau in our lives. Someone we wronged, or someone who wronged us. The weight of that story shapes us. But just as Jacob was transformed by a divine encounter, we too can be changed. Just as Jacob limped forward, so we must walk with humility. Seeking peace, seeking healing, seeking home. This story reminds us that it's never too late. Never too far gone, that even after decades of distance and deception, reconciliation is possible. The journey may require courage. It may require confession. It may even bring us to our knees. But on the other side of that humility is something sacred. A reunion, a redemption, a return to love. To those listening from across the world, from quiet living rooms to bustling cities, let this story reach into your heart. Let it stir the places you've tried to forget. Let it call you to forgiveness. Not because the other deserves it, but because you do. You deserve peace. You deserve freedom from the prison of resentment. Jacob's story is yours. Esau's tears could be yours. The embrace they shared is waiting for you. Don't let fear keep you from restoration. Don't let pride silence your apology. Don't let time convince you it's too late. Stand up, walk forward, bow if you must, limp if you have to. But meet the moment, because sometimes, the very thing we fear the most is the thing that will set us free. And if this story moved you, if it reminded you of the beauty buried in broken things, then share it. Let others hear, let others heal, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, shining truths where ancient words still speak, and eternal hope still shines.